My name is Deb McDonald. I'm the Chief Cruelty Investigator and Shelter Director for the Michigan Humane Society, Detroit Center for Animal Care, and you're watching the World Animal Awareness Society.
Trapped in a drain pipe. 2 separate rescues, both a race against time, and in each case, the Michigan Humane Society investigators were first on the scene. The kitten was just out of reach. MHS rescuers were determined to save the little guy, but after removing porch steps and much digging, still no luck. But then,
Halloween night, and grandmother let him out to use the bathroom, out the back door like normal. Phone happened to ring, she went to answer it, came back, and he had took off. Drove around neighborhood for about a couple hours that night, looking for him, never could find him.
The call was a hit by car. They said he couldn't walk, wouldn't walk. When I did get there, he didn't get up at all. He was howling when I first got there. He was just laying there howling, which made me feel bad, but you know, as soon as I got the leash on him, he was fine. He jumped, not really jumped up, but he got up, you know, and walked with me. A little bit slow, but that's pretty much it.
Chris went on a call for a stray dog, brought the animal in the evening, and the next day, Mr. Brown was in looking for his dog. It was part of his routine of checking all the shelters in the area, and that's when he found Logan in our stray kennels.
Because right before I passed the kennel, you know, I almost didn't notice it. I just kind of looked, and then he was just like how some dogs look, you know, like I'm not getting up. And then when I looked back again and I said his name, and he just, like, he got all this energy from somewhere, so. You all right? You went on vacation? You didn't tell anybody. You're supposed to invite me next time.
These are the things that actually make your job worth doing. Everybody's got bad days. Our bad days are bad days, and then something like this comes along and makes a bad day a great day. So it'll probably make like the whole next week, you know, good until hopefully the next thing happens.
You ready to go, huh? You ready to go?
Sounded like it was trapped, couldn't get out, in some kind of pain. And what we did was we sent out our entire team to search for the dog and see if we could locate it, because it really sounded like it was in distress.
We didn't hear any animals, so we didn't know whether to check the old City Hall courthouse or the fire department.
They came out and they were between the buildings. They heard a dog and started the search of the second building.
Hey! How did you get down there? That's where you were at, huh? You fell in the hole, didn't you?
Upon observation, it appeared that the dog had fallen into the crawl space and that there was no way of him exiting on his own. So if the team hadn't arrived to get him out of there, no telling what could have happened to that dog.
When the dog got into our shelter, it was obvious that he was very, very skinny, and that he had a wound on the side of his face. It was a laceration. It was severely abscessed. Right now, he's resting and recuperating. He's been through a very traumatic experience. No food, no water, and you know, the kind of the trauma of being trapped and with no hope down there. So we need to give him time to relax and recuperate from his injuries and gain some weight and fight his infection.
those are the cries of a 4-week-old puppy trapped in an underground pipe on a bitterly cold February day. And those are the frantic cries of a 5-week-old kitten, also trapped in a drain pipe. 2 separate rescues, both a race against time, and in each case, the Michigan Humane Society investigators were first on the scene. The kitten was just out of reach. MHS rescuers were determined to save the little guy, but after removing porch steps and much digging, still no luck. But then...
Yeah! Whoa! Woohoo! Dude!
Yes!
Awesome.
The puppy was deep underground. Cameras were inserted into the pipes, but there was no sign of the puppy. Rescuers tried digging out that pipe, but needed something more. So excavators were called in. All the while, the cries of the puppy were becoming weaker. Then finally...
There he is. Little buddy.
These rescues are only possible with your support.
The Michigan Humane Society recommends that people keep their dogs in the house. That's where they're safe. That's where they're going to be warm. But if people can't keep their pets in the house, they have to have adequate provisions, and that's a doghouse with straw.
Straw can literally make the difference between an animal living and dying this time of year. We do see a lot of dogs freeze to death, and the straw will help to insulate them. It's going to maintain their body heat, and it's not going to maintain moisture and freeze like a blanket will.
Every winter, we come across dogs out of the field, dogs with or without dog houses, that are so cold they can't even stand up. They don't even shake anymore. Their systems have stopped functioning. Dogs actually will freeze to death outside. Straw drops and doghouse drops can mean life and death for an animal. Straw is the insulation for the doghouse. It would be like, you sleeping out in the tent in the wintertime without that winter-issued sleeping bag. The straw's a sleeping bag. I think, some dogs are a little leery at first when you put the straw, but once they realize what it is, and dogs that have had it before, they get excited. I mean, they know that it's warm. They burrow down in that and make a little nest and get all snuggled up, and then they don't want to come out.
A jar or a container that was stuck on her head for several days. The woman that called met me out there. She was telling me about the house, how, it was blown out, abandoned house. Looked through the window, and I could see her laying in what would be the living room. I shut the side door and then kind of ran around the front, and I seen her, and then she ran. She ran to the back door, was unable to get out, and then she ran upstairs. I searched a couple of bedrooms that were downstairs. I didn't see her. So I went upstairs and I searched that room, and I didn't see her.
Where'd you go?
I went back downstairs, looked around, went back upstairs, looked around, and I noticed there was a hole in the wall. And then I flashed my flashlight in there, and I seen her. She had went into the hole and was like in the attic part of the house. I ended up using a control stick. I mean, she wasn't able to bite or anything, but I wasn't sure how she was going to act. She wasn't happy about it. She didn't know what was going on. So once I got her outside, with her adrenaline rushing and her being scared, she was breathing really heavy, and you could hear the plastic jug. It was sucking the sides in and they would pop out. So it was making some noise. I tried to get the jar off, or the plastic jug off. It was on there pretty tight, and we carefully, poked some holes in there so she could get some more air. I didn't cut it off because with her being scared, she could have started bouncing around. I could have poked her in the eye with a knife or cut her nose, anything like that, and I could have stabbed myself on accident. So I, poked the holes in there, and as soon as got her into the truck and got her back to the shelter so we could get it off. Once I got her back to the shelter, they actually used some kind of a lubricant, rubbed it around the edges, and it actually slid off with the lubricant pretty good. She was scared. We did vaccinate her, we weighed her, we gave her Pyrantel, we set her up in a kennel with food, water, and a blanket. It seemed like she had taken a liking to me. She would allow me to get her out of the cage and she would be happy, wag her tail. She is a fun, loving dog. It doesn't take her very long, but she does open up and she warms up to people, and then she is all about that person.
This one is two brown pups kept roped to a small piece of standing fence in open backyard. Ropes are entangled. One pup has rope tied around waist. Dogs are lying on plywood. I've been in the same spot for months. Pups appear to be in good weight.
And you can see it from the back, you said?
It looked like you could hit the alley. You want to take a peek?
Well, this part of it. That guy doesn't look to be doing too good.
Right here. Some kind of way, y'all better find out who did that to her. Because they blaming it on me. They got neighbor there with dog, neighbor there with dog, neighbors right here. That's wrong for her to blame that on me. Because they know what they've been doing. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yep.
I knew she was gonna blame it on me because I stayed next door to her. And happened to look out here and I called her and told her that the dog looked like he was dead. That was it.
A lot of people can see it.
A lot of people can see it. Don't blame it on me. That was wrong. Let's get
Good morning. I'm hearing another bark from over here. It's under those steps, I think. It's somewhere. Hi. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, they there.
Hi, how you doing? The Humane Society. We got a call about the dogs.
Yeah.
You got 2 of them?
I mean, I only come to the door.
Okay. All right, and then you got another dog up underneath you, right? The thing is they can't stay like this. Okay. So what I'm gonna need you to do is surrender this dog that's died to us. And we need to get this other one out from underneath here and take a look at it, because if
There's nothing wrong with the dog that's under the house.
he doesn't have adequate shelter. He can't stay like this. He can't just live up under the porch.
That's where he stayed.
But
we don't have no dog house, and we don't have a big enough yard to have no dog house.
I know, but there's state laws about how you got to keep them. You take them both? All right. Now let's get some information. All right. What is the name of the dog that died?
It looks like he died pretty recently. Maybe last night, yesterday. Wow, he's still pretty fresh.
The dogs can't stay like this, okay? Right now we got a dog that's died out here.
That's because they normally don't be on the chain.
It doesn't matter.
I understand.
You know, you got them tied up to a piece of plywood, tangled up to a fence. The dog died from that. They can't stay like this. You're in violation of Michigan state law. Your mom's house, she says the dog should go.
Hey, come here. Come out. She's scared of me. Come here, lady.
Hello.
Come here.
Hello, sweetheart. Hello. Hi, sweetheart.
You all right?
All right?
Lady's pretty scared right now.
Think these are brother, sister? Or?
Yeah, they're brothers. How you doing, huh?
How old she say they were?
6 months.
6 months?
Pretty sweet dog, huh? We pick up dogs all the time that are underweight, that have embedded collars, that have died of exposure, and we just follow the steps for each one. So it's going to be up to our veterinarian. You know, we initially looked at that dog and thought, oh, you know, he got tangled up and he probably choked himself or hung himself. Our veterinarian took a look at the dog that we just brought in that was deceased and said that it may have died of exposure. So what we're going to do at this point is post the dog for a necropsy. And if it looks like we have enough, then we'll present it to the prosecutor's office and go from there. See if a warrant can be issued.
Where are we headed to now?
South Street. You know, it sounds like the neighbors have been feeding the dogs, especially during the holiday season. You find people they want out of town. You know, somebody was coming by at night and feeding the dogs and the neighbors didn't know it. You know, you get down there and the people have come back from vacation, you know, or they just up and left, so you don't know. And we just wait and see what we find when we get there. Abandoned dogs are something that we've always had to deal with. People sometimes leave their dogs in the home and it's the last thing they move out. And people think, oh, they moved out and left their dogs. Well, no, they just haven't taken everything out of their house yet and their dogs are still there. And a lot of times they just up and leave and, you know, the house is trashed and the dog is chained in the backyard and they have no intention of ever coming back. They toss the dog out the backyard with everything else from the house they don't want. That's it. It's a notice that we've had a report that these dogs are abandoned, and it's part of the process that we're going to go through to make a determination about the status of the dogs here. We want to see if anybody's going in and out of this location. You know, one of the ways to show that an animal has been abandoned is to show that nobody's coming and going. I mean, if the tape is broken, then somebody's been in here and done something. It's not, you know, automatically abandoned.
I separate them when they, yes.
Okay, and she's eating?
Yeah, she's eating. What kind of food are you eating?
It's her son's dog. But she's caring for it. He is in a wheelchair. She's going to go in and have a conversation about whether or not they're going to keep the dog or bring the dog in. I kind of want what she needs to do.
Hang out for a minute.
Hang out
see
for a
what you
minute.
want.
Yeah,
All right.
dog can't stay how it is.
My lady.
A lot of dogs can do okay on average dog food. Pit bulls and short-haired dogs, they need a higher fat content in the wintertime. And a lot of people buy certain types of dog food, even name brands like Pedigree have low fat content in them. Some dogs will do okay on them, other dogs won't. It all comes down to calories. You got to be able to have enough to burn to stay warm and thrive. And if you don't have enough, that's when you start burning your fat stores and you end up losing weight and becoming very skinny in this kind of weather really quickly, as a matter of fact. So, I mean, we always stress people to buy the highest quality food that they can afford. And first, look at the fat content and make sure it's as high as you can get.
Once I returned to the van, I went to the driver's side. There was a box by the door. I almost kicked it to move it away, and a good thing I looked before because there was 3 little puppies in it. I believe somebody seen the van, obviously lived right by the house, and put the puppies in the box and dropped them at my car door. Obviously I picked the box up. I was looking at the puppies. They were all curled up together, obviously cold, and they smelled a little bit, so because they were, they were dirty and. But I mean, other than that, they're pretty healthy.
It's always a good feeling knowing that somebody sees us and realizes that we're the best option for these animals instead of leaving these animals out in the cold. Although we prefer the public bring animals to us, we will never turn an animal away.
If they would have just, let the puppies out of the yard and, just to let them run, or taken the box and just set it somewhere hoping somebody would find it, more than likely those puppies would have froze to death. Temperatures are dropping, it's pretty cold outside already, and of course at night it's getting a lot colder. Right now the puppies are in foster care. They need a little bit of time to adjust and maybe grow up a little bit because they're pretty tiny.
Donations allow us to provide the care we need for these animals. Without donations, we aren't able to respond in the field to all of the animals in need. If we didn't have people donating and supporting us, these puppies probably would have been left out in the cold. It's dangerous. It's scary for these animals to be out there without any assistance. Be a hero. Donate today.